Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from Chaitanya Bhagavata by Vrndavana Thakur, and this is Antya-Lila, Chapter 5, the description of Lord Nityananda's pastimes. Om Aganat Mirandasya Ganagana Salakaya Chakshuran Militamyena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My spiritual master has opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my most humble obeisances unto his lotus feet. Glory, glory to Lord Chaitanya, the master of all. Glory, glory to the Lord, who is a kalpavriksha tree that fulfills the devotee's desires. Glory, glory to the King of Vaikuntha, who is now the jewel of sannyasis. O Lord, please place your glance of mercy on the conditioned souls. Glory, glory to Lord Chaitanya and his devotees. Glory, glory to merciful Lord Chaitanya, who is an ocean of mercy. O my brothers, with one heart, please hear the Antya-Khanda's narrations of how Lord Chaitanya enjoyed pastimes. After staying for some days in Lord Advaita's home, Lord Chaitanya went to Srivas Pandit's home in Kumarahat. Srivas was then wrapped in the ecstasy of meditation on the Lord. Suddenly, the object of his meditation stood before him. Seeing the master of his life, Srivas fell to the ground and offered Dandavat obeisances. Holding the Lord's graceful feet to his chest, Srivas loudly sighed and wept. Then Lord Chaitanya embraced Srivas and showered him with tears of love and joy. By Lord Chaitanya's mercy, Srivas's family and friends were all saintly. Seeing Lord Chaitanya, they raised their arms and wept. Now that the king of Vaikuntha had come to his home, how much bliss had suddenly taken birth within Srivas. Even Srivas himself did not know. Carrying the nicest seat on his head, he placed it before Lord Chaitanya, and the lotus-eyed Lord sat upon it. The Lord's companions sat around him in the four directions. Moment after moment, everyone sang the names of Lord Krishna. The saintly women devoted to their husbands sang Jai, Jai. Srivas' home was filled with bliss. Hearing the news that Lord Chaitanya had come to Srivas Pandit's home, Acharya Purandara arrived. Seeing him, Lord Chaitanya called out, "Father," and wild with love, the Lord embraced him. Seeing Lord Chaitanya, saintly Acharya Purandara wept without restraint. Accompanied by Shivananda Sen and many others, Vasudev Dutt also came at that moment. Vasudev Dutt was very dear to Lord Chaitanya. By the Lord's mercy, Vasudev Dutt knew everything. Vasudev Dutt wanted to do good to the entire world. He was merciful to every living being, and he was wild with love for Lord Chaitanya. He only saw the good in others. He never saw their faults. His heart was appropriately filled with love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and for the Vaishnavas. Seeing Vasudev Dutt, Lord Chaitanya embraced him and wept again and again. Grasping the Lord's feet, Vasudev Dutt loudly wept. When he wept, Vasudev Dutt made even stones and dry sticks, what to speak of human beings, weep. Vasudev Dutt had the most exalted virtues. No one was like Vasudev Dutt. Lord Chaitanya dearly loved Vasudev Dutt, and the Lord said, "I am the property of Vasudev Dutt. Of this there's no doubt." Again and again, Lord Chaitanya said, "My body is Vasudev Dutt's property. If Vasudev Dutt sells me, I am sold. And that is the truth. It is the truth. It's not otherwise. Lord Krishna will deliver anyone who even touches the breeze that blows by Vasudev Dutt. Now I speak the truth. Please listen, O circle of Vaishnavas. My body belongs to Vasudev Dutt alone. Hearing the Lord's mercy to Vasudev Dutt, the Vaishnavas joyfully called out, Hari. Lord Chaitanya knew how to glorify his devotees. In this way, Lord Chaitanya happily stayed for some days at Srivasa's home. As two brothers, Srivas and Ramai, sang the Lord's glories, Lord Chaitanya, who was in truth the king of Vaikuntha himself, danced in ecstasy. Srivas and Ramai were very dear to Lord Chaitanya. The two of them were Lord Chaitanya's own body. They never quarreled. They were always engaged in Sankirtan and in reading and lecturing from Srimad Bhagavatam. They were always playful and witty. Srivas, in whose home the Lord manifested the best of his pastimes, greatly pleased Lord Chaitanya. One day, in private, Lord Chaitanya asked Srivas about his livelihood. Lord Chaitanya said, I see that you never go anywhere. How do you maintain your family? And how will you maintain them in the future? Srivas replied, Lord, in my heart there is no desire to go anywhere. This I tell you. The Lord said, you have a big family. If you don't do anything, what will happen to them? Srivas said, whatever is destined will happen. That will come. The Lord said, you should accept sannyas. And Srivas said, I have no power to do that. The Lord said, if you will not accept sannyas, why do you not go out to beg alms? How will you feed your family? I do not at all understand your words. If you never go anywhere, you will never get anything. If nothing comes to your door, what will you do then? Please tell me that. Then Srivas clapped his hands 3 times and said, 1, 2, 3. That's my explanation. The Lord said, what does 1, 2, 3 mean? Why do you clap your hands? Please explain. Srivas said, this is my solemn vow. If 3 times food does not come to me and I must fast, then I'll tie a water pot around my neck and drown myself in the Ganga. Hearing Srivas' words, Lord Chaitanya at once stood up and roared. He said, Srivas Pandit, what are you saying? Why should you fast 3 times? Even if someday Goddess Lakshmi becomes poverty-stricken and has to beg alms, poverty will still not enter your house. Srivas, have you forgotten what I said in Bhagavad Gita? Anantas chintayanto mam, ye jana paripasyate, tesham nitya vayuktanam, yoga shema vahamyaham. But to those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. To anyone who always meditates on me with exclusive devotion, I give alms. I carry the alms on my head, and I give it to them. Anyone who meditates on me need never leave his door. Of their own accord, all perfections will come to him. Piety, wealth, happiness, liberation, they'll come to him. My servant need not ask for them. They will never leave my servant. My Sudarshan Chakra will always protect my servant. Even when all the universes are destroyed, he will not perish. Anyone who remembers my devotee, I will feed and protect. The servant of my servant is very dear to me. Without even trying, he easily attains me. Why should he worry? I personally bring him food. I personally feed my servant. Srivas, you happily stay where you are. I will bring everything to your door. You and Advaita are very dear to me. Your bodies will never be devoured by old age. Then Lord Chaitanya called for Ramai Pandit. The Lord said, listen, Ramai, you are very dear to me. You should always serve your elder brother, Srivas Pandit, as if he were the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. That is my order to you. Shri Ramai Pandit, you are as dear to me as my own life. Please never give up serving Srivas. Hearing the Lord's words, Srivas and Srimai both felt happiness that had no end. The desires were all fulfilled. Even today, Lord Chaitanya's mercy, everything needed comes of its own accord to Srivas' door. How can I describe Srivas' noble and generous character? The three worlds become purified by remembering him. Lord Chaitanya enjoyed pastimes at Srivas' home, and Srivas sincerely served him. By Srivas' desire, Lord Chaitanya happily stayed for some days at Srivas' home. Gazing and gazing at Lord Chaitanya, Srivas and his family floated in transcendental bliss. After staying for some days at Srivas' home, Lord Chaitanya went to Raghava's home in Panihati. Busily engaged in service to Lord Krishna, Sri Raghava Pandit suddenly found Lord Chaitanya standing before him. Seeing the master of his life, Raghava Pandit fell to the ground and offered Dandavata obeisances. Tightly embracing the feet of Goddess Lakshmi's beloved husband, Raghava Pandit wept in bliss. Lord Chaitanya embraced Raghava Pandit and sprinkled his body with tears of joy and love. His body filled with bliss, Raghava Pandit did not know what he should do to greet the Lord. Seeing his sincere devotion, Lord Chaitanya, the king of Vaikuntha, placed his merciful glance on Raghava Pandit. The Lord said, "Now that I have come to his home, and now that I see Raghava Pandit, I forget all my sufferings. By bathing in the Ganga, one becomes happy. In the same way, I become happy by entering Raghava Pandit's home." Smiling, Lord Chaitanya said, "Listen, Raghava Pandit, quickly go and cook for Lord Krishna." Attaining this order, and now tasting the nectar of ecstatic love, Raghava Pandit happily went to cook. Following his heart's desire, the Brahmin, Raghava, cooked a limitless quantity of food. Accompanied by his associates and by Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya came to eat. Then Lord Chaitanya, the beloved of Goddess Lakshmi, ate. He praised every food. The Lord said, "How beautiful is Raghava's cooking! Never have I tasted shak like this." Aware that Lord Chaitanya was fond of shak, Raghava cooked different kinds of shak in different ways and placed all these shak preparations before the Lord. In this way, Lord Chaitanya happily ate. At last he left and rinsed his mouth. Hearing that Lord Chaitanya had come, Gadadhar Das ran to Raghava Pandit's house. Gadadhar Das was very dear to Lord Chaitanya. He was filled with the bliss of devotional service. Lord Chaitanya personally appeared in his body. Seeing him, Lord Chaitanya placed his graceful feet on saintly Gadadhar's head. Purandar Pandit and Rameshwar Das, in whose body Lord Chaitanya also appeared, also ran there. Seeing the Lord, they both wept with love. Raghunath Vaidya also came. He was a great Vaishnav. His virtues had no end. These Vaishnavas all came before the Lord. There was great bliss in Panihati Gram, and Lord Chaitanya had personally come there. In private, Lord Chaitanya revealed to Raghava Pandit a secret. The Lord said, "Raghava, I'll tell you a secret. Nityananda is not different from me. Whatever Nityananda does, I do. This I tell to you. My actions are all done by Nityananda. I do not try to trick you when I say this. Nityananda and I are the same person. We are non-different. Everyone in your home will come to know this. What the kings of yoga attain with great difficulty is easily attained from Nityananda. Therefore, with great care, you should serve Nityananda. Serve him as if he were the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself." To Marakadvaj, Lord Chaitanya said, "You should serve Sri Raghava Pandit. Please know that when you please Raghava Pandit, you please me." Making it glorious and fortunate, Lord Chaitanya stayed for some days at Panihati Gram. Then Lord Chaitanya went to a very fortunate Brahmin's home in Varaha Nagara. This Brahmin was very learned in Srimad Bhagavatam. At the moment when he first saw the Lord, the Brahmin was reading Srimad Bhagavatam aloud. Hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam's description of devotional service, Lord Chaitanya Narayan was overcome with ecstasy. "Read, read," Lord Chaitanya roared again and again. Plunged in bliss, the Brahmin read, forgetting the external word, and Lord Chaitanya danced. Hearing and hearing verses glorifying devotional service, Lord Chaitanya fell again and again to the ground. Seeing the Lord overwhelmed with ecstatic love, and seeing him violently fall to the ground, everyone became afraid. In this way, 9 hours of the night passed. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Chaitanya, the treasure house of all virtues, danced. Finally, returning to external consciousness, Lord Chaitanya sat down. He happily embraced the Brahmin. Lord Chaitanya said, "Not from any mouth have I ever heard Srimad Bhagavatam as you read it. Your name is now Bhagavatacharya, teacher of Srimad Bhagavatam. Please, do not do anything but read Srimad Bhagavatam." Hearing Lord Chaitanya's very appropriate words, everyone made a great sound of Hari, Hari. In this way, village after village on the Ganga's bank, Lord Chaitanya stayed at the homes of different devotees. After thus fulfilling everyone's desires, Lord Chaitanya returned to Jagannath Puri. Anyone who hears this pastime of the Lord's return to West Bengal will never suffer again. In all of Jagannath Puri were born the words, "The Lord who is the crest jewel of sannyasis has returned." Jai, Jai, everyone blissfully chanted. The moving Jagannath has come to Nilachala. Hearing this news, Sarvabhauma and all the Lord's associates in Orissa at once came. For many days the devotees were separated from the Lord. Seeing him, they joyfully sang kirtan. With great love, the Lord embraced everyone. Everyone's limbs he sprinkled with tears from his eyes. In Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya happily stayed at Kasi Misra's home. Overcome with ecstasy, wherever he was, Lord Chaitanya always sang and danced. Dancing before Lord Jagannath, Lord Chaitanya was overcome with ecstatic love. He did not have even a half a sesame seed's worth of external consciousness. Sometimes Lord Chaitanya danced in Kasi Misra's home, and sometimes he danced by the seashore. The Lord always enjoyed pastimes like these. He did not do even half a sesame seed worth of any other activity. The moment the conch shell sounded, he was up. He waited at the door to see Lord Jagannath. Gazing at Lord Jagannath, he manifested the signs of ecstatic love. How wonderful those signs were! It cannot be described. His tears flowed like the Ganga. Gazing at this wonder, the people of Orissa found that material joys and griefs no longer stayed in their bodies. Wherever Lord Chaitanya went, everyone chanted, Hari, Hari. King Prataparudra also heard, Lord Chaitanya has returned to Jagannath Puri. The moment he heard these words, King Prataparudra at once left Cuttack and went to Jagannath Puri. The king was very eager to see Lord Chaitanya, but Lord Chaitanya never allowed him. The king asked Sarvabhauma and the Lord's other associates, but out of fear none of them informed the Lord. The king said, "If you are all afraid to do anything, at least allow me to see him without his knowledge." Seeing the king's anxiety, the devotees met and decided, when he dances in kirtan, the Lord is not in external consciousness. That is the opportunity for this great devotee king. Unseen, he may gaze on the Lord. Deciding on this, they told the king. The king said to them, "I will see him any way I can." One day, by divine arrangement, hearing Lord Chaitanya was dancing at a certain place, the king hurried there. Hiding, the king saw the Lord as he danced. How wonderful! Never had he seen anything like this. An endless stream of tears flowed from Lord Chaitanya's eyes. Moment after moment, the Lord manifested trembling, perspiration, paleness, and standing of the bodily hairs. When the Lord violently fell to the ground, the frightened king could not bear to watch. When the Lord roared and thundered, King Prataparudra covered his ears. When Lord Chaitanya wept in separation from Lord Krishna, the king watched, streams of tears flowing from the Lord's eyes. What were the numberless ecstatic symptoms Lord Chaitanya manifested? I have no power to write of them all. Raising the two maces of his arms and chanting Hari Bol, again and again Lord Chaitanya joyfully danced. For some time, Lord Chaitanya danced in this way. Then, returning to external consciousness, he sat down among his associates. Happy to have seen the Lord dance, the king left unseen. Having seen the Lord's wonderful dancing, wonderful ecstatic symptoms, the king felt limitless happiness in his heart. Then, by the Lord's mercy, a thought entered the king's mind. When Lord Chaitanya danced, a splendid stream of tears always flowed from his eyes, and saliva flowed from his graceful mouth. As the Lord was overcome with ecstatic love and kirtan, saliva flowed from his graceful mouth and covered his every limb. Not understanding the symptom of ecstatic love, the king had a slight doubt in his heart. Not revealing this doubt to anyone, the king very happily returned to his home. Very happy after seeing the Lord, the king returned home and went to sleep. Assuming the form of a sannyasi, Lord Jagannath had descended to the earth. Now he enjoys pastimes of chanting his own holy names in Sankirtan. Bewildered by the Lord's Maya, the king did not understand the heart of this truth. Therefore, the Lord himself revealed this truth to him. At night, saintly Prataparudra saw a dream. In the dream, Lord Jagannath came before him. The king saw Lord Jagannath, his limbs covered with dust, and his eyes tears flowing like the Ganga. From his nostrils, mucus flowed again and again. From his graceful mouth, saliva flowed. It covered his entire body. In that dream, the king thought in his heart, "What kind of pastime is this? Why does Lord Jagannath enjoy a pastime like this? I have no power to understand." The king went to touch Lord Jagannath's feet. Lord Jagannath said, "King, this is not right. When you anoint them with camphor, musk, fragrances, sandal, and kumkum, then my limbs are good. But you see, my limbs are covered with saliva and dust. How can it be right for you to touch my limbs now? Today I went to dance. By my mercy you saw my limbs covered with dust and saliva. Look, my limbs are covered with dust and saliva. You're a great king. You're the son of a great king. How can it be right for you to touch me?" After speaking these words, the merciful Lord looked at his servant and smiled. The next moment, the king saw Lord Chaitanya sitting on Lord Jagannath's throne. Lord Chaitanya's graceful limbs were covered with dust and saliva. The king smiled and said, "Why is it not right? You have kindly entered my heart. Therefore, why should you not touch me?" In this way, giving his mercy to Prataparudra, Lord Chaitanya sat on the throne and smiled. At that moment, the king awakened. Now awake, he wept. He said, "I am a great offender, a wicked sinner. I did not know Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, descended to this world. How can any living being have the power to understand him? Even Brahma and all the demigods are bewildered by his Maya. I'm an offender. Lord, please forgive me. Please, make me your servant. Give me your mercy." Then the king, understanding Lord Chaitanya is Lord Jagannath himself, and they are non-different. Now the king very earnestly yearned to see the Lord. Still, no one would arrange for him to see him. By divine arrangement, one day, Lord Chaitanya sat with his associates in a flower garden. Going there alone, King Prataparudra fell down before the Lord's feet. The king trembled and wept. The hairs of his body stood erect. His ecstatic symptoms had no end. He fell unconscious in ecstasy. Seeing the king's symptoms of pure devotion to Lord Vishnu, Lord Chaitanya said, "Rise." Then he placed his graceful hand on the king's body. With the touch of the Lord's graceful hand, the king regained consciousness. Grasping the Lord's feet, he wept. King Prataparudra prayed, save me, O Master of all living entities, O Ocean of mercy. Please place your glance of mercy on me, a sinner. Save me, O independent Lord, who enjoys whatever pastimes you wish. O Ocean of mercy, save me, O Shri Krishna Chaitanya, O friend of the poor, save me, O Lord, before whom all the demigods bow, O beloved of Goddess Lakshmi, save me, O only object of the devotee's love, save me, O Lord whose form is pure and spiritual, save me, O Lord Krishna, eager to enjoy pastimes of Sankirtan, Save me, save me, O Lord, whose nature, names, and virtues are beyond the understanding of mere human beings. Save me, O abode of gentleness and virtue. Save me, O Lord, before whose graceful feet Brahma and Shiva bow. Save me, O ornament of sannyas, dharma. Save me, O Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, O Lord, please, give me your mercy to me. Please, never leave me. Hearing King Prataparudra's prayer spoken in a voice breaking with emotion, Lord Chaitanya became pleased and gave his mercy. The Lord said, may you attain devotion to Lord Krishna. Don't do any action but devotional service to Lord Krishna. Always sing Sankirtan of chanting Lord Krishna's holy names. Lord Vishnu's Sudarshan Chakra will always protect you. You, Sarvabhauma, and Ramananda Roy are the three. For the sake of you three, I have come here. I place one request before you three. Don't reveal to anyone the truth about me. If you reveal it, I'll go away. That's the truth. Speaking these words, the Lord placed his own flower garland around the king's neck. Pleased, the Lord gave the king permission to depart. Again and again, offering Dandavata obeisances and placing the Lord's order on his head, the king departed. Having seen the Lord, the king thought all his desires were now fulfilled. Again and again he meditated on the Lord's feet. Anyone who hears this narration of King Prataparudra seeing Lord Chaitanya will attain a great wealth of spiritual love. Happily enjoying pastimes of Sankirtan in this way, Lord Chaitanya stayed in Jagannath Puri. The devotees who had taken birth in Jagannath Puri all recognized Lord Chaitanya as the master of their lives. Sri Pradumna Mishra was an ocean of love for Lord Krishna. Lord Chaitanya personally gave his lotus feet to him. Sri Paramananda Mahaparatra was very saintly. His body was filled with the nectar of devotion to Lord Chaitanya. Kashi Mishra was always overwhelmed by tasting the nectar of love for Lord Krishna. Lord Chaitanya stayed in his home. Accompanied by his servants, Lord Chaitanya always enjoyed pastimes of Sankirtan. One by one, the renounced servants of Lord Chaitanya all came and resided in Jagannath Puri. Effulgent and wild, Lord Nityananda roamed in Jagannath Puri. He was always wild, intoxicated by tasting transcendental bliss. The truth of him is beyond human understanding. I have no power to write of it. He always chanted japa of the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Even in his dreams, no other word came from Lord Nityananda's mouth. As in his heart, Lakshman loved Lord Ramachandra, so Nityananda loved Lord Chaitanya. It's because of Lord Nityananda's mercy that even today the whole world sings of the Supreme Lord's descent as Sri Chaitanya to this world. In this way, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda lived like two brothers in Jagannath Puri. One day, Lord Chaitanya and Nishinga sat down in a private place with Lord Nityananda. Lord Chaitanya said, "O noble-hearted Nityananda, please listen. Please go quickly to Navadvip. With my own mouth I vowed, I will make every wretched fallen fool float in a bliss of ecstatic love. If you stay like a peaceful silent sage and do not become wildly active, then how will you deliver the fallen fools of this world? Tell me that. You are the giver of the nectar of devotional service. If you hide that truth, then how will you fulfill your mission in descending to this world? If you think my words are right, you should go to West Bengal without delay. Give devotional service to the degraded, fallen, suffering fools, and deliver them all." Accepting Lord Chaitanya's order, Lord Nityananda at once went with his companions to West Bengal. Ramdas, Gadadhar Das, Raghunath Vaida Oja were all filled with the nectar of devotional service. Krishnadas Pandit, Parameshwari Das, and Purananda Pandit were all filled with joy. These were Lord Nityananda's companions. They all accompanied Lord Nityananda. Saintly Nityananda, who was filled with ecstatic love, walked in front as he and his companions traveled on the road. Everyone completely forgot themselves. The ecstasies that filled their bodies had no end. At the beginning, the great Vaishnava Ramdas manifested the nature of a cowherd boy. In the middle of the road, Ramdas manifested a threefold bending form. For 9 hours, he forgot the existence of the external world. Gadadhar Das manifested the nature of Sri Radha. "Who will buy yogurt?" he called out and loudly laughed. The saintly scholar Raghunath Vaidya became Revati personified. Krishnadas and Parameshwari Das both manifested the natures of cowherd boys. Again and again they called out, "Hai, hai," declaring, "I am Angada." Vrndavana Pandit climbed a tree and jumped to the ground. In this way, Lord Nityananda, who is the resting place of Lord Anantashesh, made everyone wild with spiritual ecstasy. In half an hour they walked 4 or 8 miles. Forgetting themselves, they went south. After some time on the road, they asked someone, "How can we get to the Ganga's bank? Oh, brother, please tell us." The people said, "Hey, hey, you're lost on this road. Turn from this road and travel for 6 hours." Following the people's word, they turned from the road. But again they became lost in the same way. Again they asked some people about the right path, and the people said, "Stay on this path for 20 miles. It's on the left." Smiling, they continued on the road. They were not aware of their own bodies, what to speak of whether they walked on the right path. They were not aware of their own bodies, of hunger, thirst, fear, or pain. They were filled with spiritual bliss. Traveling on that road, Lord Nityananda enjoyed many pastimes. Who can describe them? Who knows of them? They were all endless. In this way, Lord Nityananda, who is the resting place of Lord Anantashesh, came to Panihati Gram on the Ganga's bank. Accompanied by his companions, Lord Nityananda first went to Raghava Pandit's home. Raghava Pandit, Sri Makaradvaj, and their families became filled with bliss. In this way, Lord Nityananda and his associates stayed at Panihati Gram. Lord Nityananda always roars with bliss. He knew nothing but the ecstasies in his body. In his heart, he desired to dance. Suddenly, all the singers converged around him. Saintly Madhava Ghosh, who was very devoted to singing in kirtan, came. In the whole earth, there was no kirtan singer like him. His songs about Vrndavana were very dear to Lord Nityananda. The 3 brothers, Madhava Ghosh, Govinda Ghosh, and Vasudev Ghosh, sang while Lord Nityananda danced. As the powerful Avaduta danced, the earth trembled with the weight of his steps. "Hari, Hari," he roared again and again. Seeing him violently fall to the ground, everyone became filled with wonder. Whoever attained Lord Nityananda's glance would dance and dance. Overcome with ecstatic love, that person would fall to the ground. In this way, Lord Nityananda, who was filled with the nectar of ecstatic love, began his auspicious work of delivering the entire world. Manifesting limitless pastimes of ecstatic love, Lord Nityananda danced. After some time, Lord Nityananda sat on the deity's throne on the altar and ordered everyone to perform an abhishek. Raghava Pandit, as his companions, at once performed an abhishek. They brought thousands and thousands of jars of Ganga water and scented them with various fragrances. As in the 4 directions, they chanted, "Hari, Hari." Everyone happily poured this water over Lord Nityananda's head. Everyone sang songs and mantras for an abhishek. Everyone was overcome with bliss, the hairs on their bodies standing erect. The abhishek completed, the devotees dressed Lord Nityananda with new clothes and anointed his limbs with sandal paste. With many splendid garlands of forest flowers and tulsi, they covered his broad chest. Then they made him sit on a throne. As Lord Nityananda sat on the throne, Raghava Pandit held a parasol over his head. Devotees made great sounds of jai. Joyful instrumental music rose in the 4 directions. "Save us," everyone chanted with their arms raised. No one was in external consciousness. Everyone was filled with bliss. Filled with the bliss of accepting his true identity, Lord Nityananda showered glances of ecstatic love in the 4 directions. Then Lord Nityananda commanded, "Listen, O Raghava Pandit, At once, bring me a garland of Kadamba flowers. I like Kadamba flowers. I always stay in a Kadamba forest. Folding his hands, Raghava Pandit said, "It's not the season for Kadamba flowers." Nityananda said, "Go to the garden and look. Perhaps there are some blooming somewhere." Raghava Pandit went to the garden and looked. Looking, he was filled with wonder. On a lime tree were many peerless Kadamba flowers in full bloom. How wonderful was their color! How wonderful was their fragrance! Anyone who saw those flowers became at once free of all material bondage. When Raghava Pandit saw those Kadamba flowers, his external consciousness fled far away. He became very joyful. Picking the flowers, he quickly made a garland and placed it before Lord Nityananda. Seeing the Kadamba garland, Lord Nityananda very happily placed it around his neck. Gazing at these wonders, all the Vaishnavas were agitated with bliss by the sweet fragrance of that Kadamba garland. After some moments, another great wonder came. Everyone smelled the fragrance of wonderful Damanaka flowers. The fragrance of Damanaka flowers charmed everyone's heart, and that fragrance filled the four directions of the house. Smiling, Lord Chaitanya said, "Oh, my brothers, what is that wonderful fragrance? Please tell me." Folding their hands, everyone said, "A wonderful fragrance of Damanaka flowers fills the four directions." Hearing everyone's words, Lord Nityananda mercifully told them a secret. The Lord said, "Everyone, please listen to the great secret I will now reveal." Hearing the kirtan today, Lord Chaitanya came here from Jagannath Puri. His every limb fragrant like Damanaka flowers, he came here and assumed the form of a tree. The splendid fragrance of Damanaka flowers that fills the four directions and delights everyone comes from his graceful limbs. To see your singing and dancing, Lord Chaitanya has personally come here from Jagannath Puri. Therefore, everyone, please forget all other duties, forget even yourselves, and always chant Krishna. May everyone's body be filled with the glories of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and the nectar of love for him. After speaking these words, Lord Nityananda roared, "Hari!" and cast his glance of love in every direction. Lord Nityananda's glance of love made everyone forget their own body, their own self. Listen, listen, O my brothers, to Lord Nityananda's power, the power with which the whole world he gave pure devotional service. Because Lord Nityananda, the whole world attained pure devotion that the gopis felt, devotion described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Nityananda sat on the deity's throne as his companions danced. Someone, climbing out on the fragile branches of the tree, did not fall. Someone roared in ecstasy of spiritual love, calling out Hari, Hari, and someone jumped from the trees. Roaring Hari, Hari, someone uprooted trees and threw them all about. Running among the betel nut trees, someone uprooted 5 or 7 at once. The great power of ecstatic love had entered their bodies. That's why the devotees had the power to uproot trees. By Lord Nityananda's power of divine love, all the symptoms of ecstatic love for Lord Krishna, symptoms described in Srimad Bhagavatam, symptoms beginning with tears, trembling, being stunned, perspiration, standing up of the body's hairs, thundering, speaking with a choked voice, turning pale, roaring like a lion, fainting in bliss, were fully manifested in the devotees' bodies. In whatever direction glorious Nityananda glanced, a great shower of ecstatic spiritual love fell. Whoever received Lord Nityananda's glance fainted in ecstatic love. No longer keeping his clothes, he fell to the ground and rolled here and there. He ran to embrace Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda sat on the deity's throne and smiled. In this way, Lord Nityananda's foremost associates became resting places of all the Lord's powers. The devotees became all-knowing and perfect in eloquent speech. Their bodies became handsome like Kamadev. Whoever was touched by the hand of any of these great devotees forgot everything and became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. In this way, for 3 months, at Panihatigram, Lord Nityananda enjoyed pastimes of devotional service. For 3 months, external consciousness was not present in any body. No one had even half a sesame seed's worth of concern for his body. For 3 months, no one ate. Everyone only danced in ecstatic love. They did nothing else. In the future, the four Vedas will describe all these pastimes of ecstatic love in Panihatigram. Who has the power to describe all the pastimes of Lord Nityananda enjoyed in even half an hour? Moment after moment, the companions around him in the four directions, Lord Nityananda joyfully danced. Sometimes, Lord Nityananda would sit in a Virasan posture and have the devotees dance one by one. Flooded with the nectar of ecstatic love, everyone in the four directions watched as one devotee joyfully danced. Overcome with ecstatic love, everyone collapsed. It felt like a forest of banana trees in a hurricane. The devotees did whatever Lord Nityananda commanded. Accompanied by the devotees, Lord Nityananda sang kirtans glorifying Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Whoever came to see this wonderful display of divine love became wild and ecstatic. Whatever in their hearts the devotees desired at once came to them. Joyfully tasting the nectar of spiritual love, everyone felt the time pass like a single moment. They did not know that 3 months had passed. One day, in his heart, Lord Nityananda desired many ornaments. Simply by his desire, many ornaments at once were placed before him. Placing before Lord Nityananda many beautiful ornaments of gold, silver, emeralds, many different kinds of priceless jewels and coral, and also many kinds of silk cloth and pearl necklaces, the saintly devotees bowed down. How many ornaments were there? How gloriously and beautifully were they designed? Whatever ornaments the Lord desired were given to him. To his heart's desire, Lord Nityananda decorated his arms and wrists with golden armlets and bracelets. He placed rings of gold and jewels on his 10 fingers. On his neck he placed many different glistening necklaces of jewels, pearls, coral, and other things. To please Lord Shiva, he placed on his neck 2 golden and silver necklaces with Rudraksha and Vidalaksha. On his ears he placed very beautiful earrings of gold and pearls. On his lotus feet he placed silver anklets, and above them he placed a mala ornament that charmed the worlds. He wore different kinds of white, yellow, and blue silk cloth. In this way he was decorated with wonderful grace. Garlands of malati, malika, yuti, and champaka flowers playfully moved to and fro on his graceful chest. His graceful limbs were decorated with wonderful pictures and designs drawn in splendid and fragrant sandalwood paste mixed with gorachana. His graceful head was decorated with a turban of various colors. Above the turban was a splendid and graceful garland of different colored flowers. His graceful and cheerful face defeated millions of moons. Smiling, he always chanted the names of Lord Hari. In whatever direction Lord Nityananda's 2 lotus eyes glanced, a great shower of ecstatic spiritual love fell on everyone. In 2 directions, the Lord held 2 iron rods glistening like silver and inlaid with gold. The Lord always held those 2 iron rods as if they were his mace and plow. The Lord's associates decorated themselves with armlets, bracelets, mala ornaments, anklets, necklaces, horn bugles, flutes, sticks, rope, gunja necklaces. The devotees were all Amsa and Kala incarnations of cowherd boys. Then Lord Nityananda enjoyed blissful pastimes with his companions. Accompanied by his companions, Lord Nityananda then visited one by one the homes of the devotees. Effulgent Lord Nityananda walked to all the villages on both sides of the Ganga. Simply by seeing Lord Nityananda, every living entity felt enchanted. Manifest in 2 ways, in the way of his own form and in the way of his holy name, Lord Nityananda was sweet like nectar. Seeing Lord Nityananda, even the blasphemers offered prayers to him and yearned in their hearts to offer all they possessed to him. Lord Nityananda, his glorious form, sweet and charming, placed merciful glances on everyone. Whether he ate, slept, or walked, he did not waste a moment, spending it without performing Sankirtan. When Lord Nityananda danced in the Sankirtan of Lord Krishna's holy names, many people went wild, overcome with ecstasy. Small children who did not know anything uprooted big trees. Loudly roaring, they uprooted trees and threw them about, shouting, "I'm a coward boy!" And they ran here and there. So great was the power in those small children that even 100 men could not catch them and hold them still. Chanting, "Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda," the children joyfully roared like lions. Overcome with ecstasy, Lord Nityananda, who was naturally like a child, joined the children. For 1 month, those children had not eaten anything. Therefore, when the people saw all this, they felt great wonder in their hearts. All the devotees became wild with ecstasy. Lord Nityananda became the protector of them all. Thinking they were his son, Lord Nityananda embraced everyone. He fed them with his own hand. He kept them by his side, he tied them up, hit them, loudly laughed. One day, to please him, Lord Nityananda went to Gadadhar Das' home. Thinking himself a gopi, Gadadhar was filled with bliss. Placing a pot of Ganga water on his head, again and again he called out, "Who will buy cow's milk?" In the temple at his home was a very handsome deity of Lord Krishna as Sri Balagopal. Seeing this charming deity of Balagopal with great joy and love, Lord Nityananda embraced the deity to his chest. With a heart filled with endless love, Lord Nityananda gazed at Balagopal as the devotees joyfully chanted the names of Lord Hari. Roaring, Lord Nityananda, the king of wrestlers, danced. In this way he enjoyed pastimes with Lord Balagopal. Then Madhava Ghosh sang about Lord Krishna's Danakeli, pastime of pretending to be a towel collector. Hearing this, Lord Nityananda, the lion of Avadutas, was very pleased. Listening to fortunate Madhava Ghosh's voice, Lord Nityananda, the jewel of Avadutas, was overcome with ecstatic love. In this way, with great joy and love, Lord Nityananda enjoyed pastimes with saintly Gadadhar Das. Always thinking of himself as a gopi, Gadadhar was never in external consciousness. Hearing the song about Lord Krishna's Danakeli pastime, Lord Nityananda danced. No one had the power to properly describe that dancing. He manifested all the symptoms of ecstatic love. His dancing had no peer. His graceful motions were like lightning. How glorious were the wonderful movements of his arms. How wonderful were the graceful movements of his eyes. How beautiful was his smile. How wonderful were the playful and graceful movements of his head. He placed his feet together, and then he gracefully jumped. Wherever, tasting the nectar of ecstatic love, he glanced, there the men and women floated in the nectar of love for Lord Krishna. Whoever received Lord Nityananda's merciful glance became filled with bliss. No longer did he remember his own body. By Lord Nityananda's mercy, everyone attained the pure devotional service the sages and kings of yogis yearned to find. When he did not eat for 3 days, a man strong like an elephant became thin and has no power even to walk. The small children there had not eaten for a month, but still they acted as if they were lions. This was all manifestation of Lord Nityananda's power. Still, bewildered by Lord Chaitanya's Maya, no one can understand that truth. Thus, tasting the nectar of ecstatic love, for some days Lord Nityananda stayed at Gadadhar Das's home. External consciousness was not present in Gadadhar Das's body. Again and again he made everyone chant, Haribol. In this village lived a ferocious Qazi who had limitless hatred for Sankirtan. Wild and blissful saintly Gadadhar Das went to the Qazi's home one night. Afraid of the Qazi, everyone else would always run away from him, but that night Gadadhar Das fearlessly went to the Qazi's home. Again and again, chanting the holy name of Lord Hari, Gadadhar Das entered the Qazi's home. Seeing him, the Qazi's men sat down. No word came to anyone's mouth. Gadadhar Das said, "Ah, where is that fellow, the Qazi?" This moment say, "Krishna, if you do not, I will cut off your head." Angry like fire, the Qazi came out. Seeing Gadadhar Das, he became peaceful. The Qazi said, "Gadadhar, why have you come?" Gadadhar replied, "I will tell you something. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are the Supreme Personality of Godhead descended to this earth. They make every mouth in this world speak the words Hari Hari. You are the only person who does not chant the holy names of Lord Hari. Therefore I have come here to convince you to chant. Please chant the supremely auspicious holy name of Lord Hari. It will deliver you from all your sins. Although he was a very violent man, the Kasi said nothing. He was stunned. Smiling, the Kasi said, "Listen, Gadadhar Das. Tomorrow I will chant Hari. For now, please go home." Hearing the holy name of Lord Hari come from the Kazi's mouth, Gadadhar Das became filled with joy and wonder. Gadadhar Das said, "Why wait for tomorrow? At this moment the word Hari has appeared in your mouth. Now that you have spoken the word Hari, your sins no longer exist." Speaking these words, Gadadhar Das clapped his hands and wildly danced again and again. After some time he returned to his home. Lord Nityananda's home was in Gadadhar Das's body. Gadadhar Das's glories were well known among Lord Chaitanya's associates. Fearing they would at once lose their caste status, the pious people would not come near even the breeze that blew by the Kazi. They thought that if they once saw the violent Kazi, their caste status would be lost. To that Kazi, saintly Gadadhar Das gave his glance of mercy. In this way, Gadadhar Das made everyone forget their cruel and violent sins. He made everyone be always intent on chanting Krishna. Fires, snakes, and tigers have no power to attack a person in whose body love for Lord Krishna stays. Love for Lord Krishna is always manifest in the gopis. Brahma and the demigods yearn to attain this love. With a glance, Lord Nityananda mercifully gave this love to all his dear companions. O my brothers, please worship Lord Nityananda's feet. By his mercy you will attain Lord Chaitanya's shelter.